I got to tell you, dude, I went and did a little, I know it was a little pre-early, I guess you want to say, a little preemptive, but I went and did a little Halloween activity the other night.
Oh, yeah? Yeah?
I did a karaoke haunted house.
You went to a spook house?
Well, it was a spook. What are you, fucking 92?
I don't know. That's what people around here have been calling it. And I live out in the sticks, essentially. But
wait. When you say people around here, do you mean like one person? Was this person your grandmother?
Several people. Yes, it was my grandmother and her friends, but there's several people who still call them spook houses. And then
yes, was it your grandmother's bridge game with all her other grandmotherly friends, or was anybody under the age of Social Security?
They're advertising spook houses as well. So people put on the local like haunted houses, but their advertisements and their flyers that they're putting up around town are calling them a spook house. So it is more so than my grandmother's bridge friends. It is a trend in the area to call them a spook house.
I do not know what kind of, like, I feel like I just stepped into a new episode of Black Mirror, and it's like, we're having spook houses here.
I don't know
in
why.
Your land.
It's a weird thing. I just kind of noticed that like people around here call them spook houses.
No, that is fucking weird. It's like the word kooky. It's not something people don't say, oh, I got a spook. Like that is very, Herman Munster sounding. That was a spook.
I guess I live in an area with a lot of older folk.
I don't know what the fuck. I feel like it's a Twilight Zone episode. I'm not sure that I'm not talking to you like Dennis Quaid in the movie Frequency, and you're in the year 1962, and I'm right now in modern times. I feel like I'm talking to you in another dimension, and you're in a previous time zone right now. In a previous
spook houses.
That was a spook house. Well, it was very 1960s. The spook. Dave Coulier's in 1962 at least. No, I went to very much a 1960s style spook house though, because and I do see why people call that. It's very catchy when you start saying spook house. You just want to keep saying it. But it was a karaoke / spook house, which was very interesting because you go into it. And there's jumping things, but also in the middle, like a lot of times there's these setups, there's karaoke going on. So I did karaoke in the middle of a haunted house last night multiple times. I couldn't stop myself.
So you go in and you get a couple spooks, and then like there's a foyer in the middle, and you have to do a karaoke song in order to progress through the haunted house?
You don't have to do a karaoke song. It's like, have you ever walked into a spook house where they have what appears to be like a big open area, like a bar? And you walk through it, and sometimes things jump at you, but then you go back into the tunnels and the caves and whatnot.
I don't go to those things.
Oh, you don't do spook houses?
No.
Well, in many a spook house, there is a giant cavernous opening a lot of times where you're walking through tunnels and you're walking through these little tight spaces, but then occasionally you come into an open area. But it's supposed to kind of freak you out because you never know what could come out in the open area. What's high, because it's always dark and foggy and shit.
Okay.
And this one is set up like a karaoke bar in the open area. And you can just literally, stop, hang out for a while, do some karaoke. So we did. And when I say we, I mean I. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. The best part about it is when you do karaoke in a spook house, so everybody's sitting there, and for some reason you would think that they'd all do Halloween themed songs, but it's like some like old guys up there doing fucking. Yeah, he's doing Islands in the Stream.
Yeah, got it. Bloodline.
No, not even party songs, bro. This guy was like George Strait singing like, "You're gonna chase your horses.
I've got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer.
I didn't know there were. I didn't know there were so many Conway Twitty duets. There was like 18 Conway Twitty duets I saw, and so I was like, well, we need a fucking Halloween song because this is a spook house and everybody's doing fucking Conway Twitty duets. So I go and I sign up, do a little Monster Mash. What I love about the spook house environment is. I got up on stage. I have a whole theory about how you do a great karaoke performance. You get about 5 seconds before the music starts where, how they can cut your mic on and off with they control the mic. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? And most of the time the mic does not work until about 5-10 seconds before the song starts. But if you take advantage of that, if you just grab the mic and you start going into it, check, you'll hear the instance they cut your mic on. And then as soon as you hear your voice, you can actually stop them from playing the song. And you can get about 30 minutes or 30 seconds to a minute of just talk time where they let you go.
You filibustered the karaoke.
Well, they will let you talk. So I go like, I always like to, depending on where I'm at, I like to do a speech. So if I'm at a regular karaoke bar, a lot of times I'll go like, I don't know what was going, and I like to go to karaoke bars where nobody knows me. So, and I do one song and I leave. That's my favorite thing to do. You go to a karaoke bar where nobody knows you, you do one song, you bring the fucking house down, you high five everybody, and then you fucking get out of town. It's the most fun in the world. So a lot of times I'll do something like, I don't know what's going on tonight, guys. I had a real rough night. I'm bankrupt. I've got diagnosed with cancer. But an angel appeared in front of me and the angel said, you go down to X and X karaoke bar tonight. You go there because there's angels there and there's whiskey there and we're going to drink and then we're going to fly like the fucking angels, motherfuckers. And if you say motherfuckers, people clap. They always love to at bars. You say fly like the goddamn angels or something and they are fucking clapping. Okay.
I assume this thing had like children running around everywhere and you're just dropping motherfuckers.
Well, no, this is my regular karaoke strategy. I had to tweak it for Haunted House. So my regular karaoke strategy is the speech about possibly being diagnosed with cancer. An angel appeared to me. It said, drink whiskey with your friends and I always use the name of the bar. And they said, the only party people in town that you need to be with are the greatest party people. And you say that, and then you say, motherfucker, and you've already won them over. Then you do a song and you say, Jesus asked me to perform this song for you. And then you do the song and it's great. And you do, typically I do Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy, works every time. And I jump around a lot. And then when it gets to the music part, I always just fucking freestyle rap. And then afterwards I go and I drop the mic and I give high fives. I take a shot and I leave the fucking place. In this particular instance, because it's the middle of Haunted House, I go, I'm going to kind of flip the script a little bit. So what I decided to do is instead of saying the angel and the cancer and all that, I go, does anybody else here love to worship Satan? And then I start talking about how much I love the Dark Lord and how much I love worshiping at the altar of the Dark Lord and that Beelzebub, I start naming all the different things I can think of for Satan, Satan's name, Lucifer, all of it. I just say all the names and I say that I pray to Satan and then I do the monster mash. And then every time where it's like, it was a graveyard smash, we did the mash. And then instead of I say we, I go, Satan did the monster mash. And I just said Satan like 800 times. Get off the stage thinking I fucking owned it. Okay, thinking I owned it.
Now you're a crazy person.
What I realize is even in the instance of a Haunted House, where you would think that people would be down with this, people get very uncomfortable when you start openly worshiping Satan.
Well, yeah, that can happen pretty much anywhere. Anywhere you openly proclaim to worship Satan, you're going to get some weird
Yes,
views.
but they didn't understand it was a haunted house. It was supposed to be funny. Like why wouldn't people get that that's what I was doing? You know what I'm saying?
One statement about Satan might have gotten a chuckle, but a 30-minute proclamation about the pros and cons of, worshiping
there was no
the
cons,
Dark Lord.
By the way, there was just pros. It was pure pros.
So yeah, just prosing about the benefits of worshiping Satan and the joys that he brought to your life may have been too much for the average consumer.
And I'm going to tell you, it was. Because when I got off the stage, I talked to my wife. I said, hey, that was
I bet
funny, wasn't it?
The sea of people parted as you walked to the bar.
People were freaked the fuck out.
Yeah, people got out of your way.
Yeah, people were freaked well, everybody but the owner of the haunted house and his wife.
They came up there like, yes, Satan. Yeah,
she was
finally another
Dr.
Satanist.
Frankenstein. Well, it kind of was weird because then the karaoke guy, and they all loved the three people that mattered. Owner, wife, karaoke guy thought I was the tits.
They were all Satanists.
They gave me a free t-shirt and then they had me come up for an encore performance in which they had me sing Highway to Hell. And if you thought I couldn't work in Satan enough times in the Monster Mash, you give me the fucking song Highway to Hell, and it's like every other word was Satan. And then like it was like, well, I just beat a dead horse. Because again, I thought I was going to walk away to thunderous applause, and it didn't help that the owner was really rubbing up on my junk because they were so in love with my Satan worship. And because they gave me a free t-shirt, and I was very jacked with the free t-shirt.
The only other Satanist group in town.
I think I might have. I think they might think that I'm like, fuck it. For all I know, I'm their pastor right now. Well, for all I know, I'm the head of the Satanist church
under the Satanist flag.
And so I get off the stage, and after I'm all done with all my karaoke and we're ready to go to the rest of the spook houses, I tell my family I'm with, some friends, and I go, hey guys, that was funny, right? And they go, man, that was funny for like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But then I can't explain to you how uncomfortable everybody got when you would not stop openly proclaiming your love for the Dark Lord Satan. And I was like, I just couldn't believe people didn't think it was hilarious.
You couldn't read the crowd? Couldn't see them? Couldn't get the vibe?
Well, I wasn't looking at the crowd because I was literally, like, I kept going and doing death metal roars. And there was this weird, like, gypsy dancer that was next to me in, like, one of those Day of the Dead masks. And I was interacting with the gypsy dancer. I was doing death metal roars. There was this one guy called Lobo who looked like, who's that? Remember the vampire wrestler from back in the day, WCW or whatever it was? Vampiro or whatever it was. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Doesn't jump out at me.
Well, that's what this guy looked like. He looked like a vampire wrestler. And what cracked me up is he really looked hardcore, like chain with a meat hook on his thing and like blood and whatever.
And even he
then
was
he'd
like,
get up on stage.
No, Satan. Jesus.
He'd get up on, well, he wasn't comfortable with the Satan either, but he would get up on stage and his karaoke songs out of nowhere, he'd be do Dolly Parton songs. It'd be like, Jolene, 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 Jolene. And his best
Hail
buddy.
Satan every day. Hail
well,
Satan
that's what I would have said. That's what I would have said. I wouldn't have said Jolene. I'd have gone, Lucifer, 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 Lucifer. I'm gonna worship your fiery death rays, Lucifer. But, anyway, anybody can take that. You can learn with it. If you were doing Spookhouse Karaoke, limit your number of Hell Satans to like 1 or 2.
If you ever want to go,
and you'll keep the crowd with you.
If you ever want to go to the to the front of the line, just start proselytizing the great Lord Satan, and it's like a free
that's
free
true.
pass to the front of the line.